All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of the Financial Life Podcast. Today was the Military Monday segment, but also this is one of like the last ones for 2024. So it's like different. It's not like Military Monday, it's like April. It's like December 23rd. So as I record this, it's the eve of Christmas Eve. You know what I mean? So before I get to my guest today, and I like what we're going to talk about because it's strictly for the military, which she has experience with. Some of you may know, some of you may not know. I do some things, right? Help people out with financial literacy, one-on-one coaching, business credit, educate people on, personal credit. If you like help with any one of those or something else, simply go to speakwithmatt.info. Again, speakwithmatt.info. That'll take you directly to my calendar. No need to put in the triple W. Again, speak with Matt the info. Book a 30-minute call. We'll talk. And the episode is sponsored by Born to Risk. I'm one of the co-authors of that book, and when you make a purchase, the proceeds go to help out other veteran organizations. So thank you very much. With that being said, I'd like to bring on. Come on up, Laura. Just go for it. Just come on up virtually. I'd like to introduce my guest, Laura Lopez. And today we're gonna have a nice conversation around credit cards, but not just credit cards, but really about traveling and all this stuff with specifically for the military, do's and don'ts and all that. But Laura was born and raised in Puerto Rico, to be over 20 years in military service, 3 years as a civil servant. And through this time, which she's going to share when I ask questions, she's accrued like 1,000 points through strategic. That's the key word there. Strategic award travel. Because a lot of people use points, and there's a way to go about it. It's a game, literally. And as she calls herself, she's a boy mom and an award travel content creator. So Laura, thank you for being on today. How are you feeling?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me, Matt. I'm really
Okay.
excited to be here and share everything that I know and maybe learn a little bit, from the back and forth between you and I
Yeah.
as well today.
Cool, cool. So Puerto Rico, what was it like growing up there? Because like here in the States, we know of it. It's an island. It's there. It's a territory, and there's talk about it becoming a state. And so it's always like nah, but it should be. And it's just so. What's it like growing up there? What's their views on the mainland, the United States there, as far as all that goes? Because the history is jacked up like most things are. It wasn't like, hey, you want to become a territory? If I'm correct, we just took it.
Yes, from
Too bad.
Spain.
Like, you know what? We want it. And it's like, and it's been that way ever since for so long. It's crazy. So,
Yeah, so in 1898, the Spaniards were getting ready. I was not ready for this, so this is totally impromptu. In
fun.
1898, the Spaniards were getting ready to receive the Americans that were coming out to invade. They probably got wind of it, and they built this fort in San Juan, and getting ready to attack the Armada of the United States, I guess, at the time. And the Americans, were smarter and went from the south of the island rather than the north. So in 1898, Puerto Rico was acquired from Spain. And then around the 1918th or so, 1920, we became American citizens with the Jones Act. And since then,
Oh,
we've been sort of like a territory, but we're Americans. And
okay.
yeah, growing up with Puerto Rico was honestly it was amazing. Like in retrospect, right? You
Mhm.
feel like you're trapped in this island, but Puerto Rico is rather large. It's not
Yeah.
Hawaii. Puerto Rico is rather big, and it's beautiful and it's beach everywhere and all the beaches are gorgeous and it's warm the whole year. And so you think about the United States and you're like, oh, I want to go to the States because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And then you come to the States and like, I don't like the beach in California.
No.
I want to go back to Puerto Rico where the water is warm.
Yeah.
So yes, I feel really blessed to, we really didn't have a lot of parks because we had the beach. We went to the beach all the time. And growing
Right.
up in Puerto Rico, honestly, it was a blessing. It was amazing.
Wow. I you know, I guess you appreciate because for me, I feel like if I grew up around the beach, I'd be like, it's just there all the time.
Yes.
Versus growing up, in Maryland and living, inland, you're like, oh, the beach, like, thank you, I appreciate it, But at least you appreciate it versus some people, because I've heard I forget who heard this from, but people like grew up in Jamaica, like a lot of them want to leave the island because that's all they know and just stuck there and
Mhm.
experience it because you want to know. But it's funny you mentioned it. You come here in the United States and it's like, hi, this is the United States. Our beaches don't look like yours. And by the way, depending where you go, we have all four seasons. And depending on where you go in the United States, it gets really, really cold to the point where
Yes.
when it hits 30 degrees Fahrenheit, you want to wear shorts. And I understood that.
Yes, no,
You want to
and
experience
I
snow? Here
miss
you
it.
go.
Yeah, I miss it so much. I miss it. And then, yeah, at one point I felt like, oh, it's the beach again, the beach again. But that's where everything happened at the beach. All the parties were at the beach, all the birthdays were
Wow.
at the beach. That was our park. Like the beach was
Mm,
our park. And honestly, all my like happy memories from childhood are from the beach.
yeah.
And so I have at the time maybe I felt a little bit ungrateful, right? Like I should be more grateful for living by the beach in this warm weather with only wore flip-flops and shorts the whole year.
Wow.
But I think that comes with time when I first enlisted and moved to Denver and I,
Oh, you went
started
to
getting
Denver. You're
cold.
like, it got cold. You're
Yes.
like, this is not what I thought was life was going to be like. And it gets like cold in Denver. It's the Midwest. It's not that north, but like, I know that they can get like what, the teens if you're lucky in the negatives.
Yes, and it
I'm like,
snows. I had
yeah.
no closed-toe shoes. I didn't own any other than my running shoes and my boots, but that's it.
Oh,
Oh
you learned the
yes,
hard
yes.
way real quick. You're like, yep, I'm prepared for this next time. Gee. Okay.
Yes, good stuff. Good
That's
stuff.
funny. I didn't think about that. So for you, the park was the beach. That's an interesting contrast between us growing up here. Like the park is the park. You go there, you have fun, you run around. For y'all,
Mhm.
it's the beach. Wow.
Yes, beach everything. Beach everything.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, for us, it's like the beach is like bonus. We're going to the beach. Yes. I could do this and this and this. And everyone feels relaxed. So that's cool. And so we grew up there and then I remember like what branch did you enlist in?
Air Force. Yeah,
Boo,
so
but
I
whatever, it's
enlisted.
fine. I'll still
Oh,
accept it.
don't hold that against me. Don't hold that
I know.
against me. So, yes, honestly, and I think I told you if I could go back, I would have joined the Marines. But it was the Air Force, and it opened a ton of doors for me, and I'm really grateful for that opportunity as well.
That's
So,
good.
2 years enlisted, and then I had an opportunity to commission, and the rest is history. It's been 20 plus years, so now I'm the old lady. So.
You got experience though. And so as your
Yes.
officer, I can tell you what, I can't what for all the branches it's this is agreed, but especially in the Marine Corps, we have more respect for the prior enlisted officers versus the ones that were just fresh. And you could tell their demeanor. The demeanor of for someone who's prior enlisted as an officer or someone who wasn't was night and day. And I actually I was like, that guy's prior enlisted. I can tell I am never going to piss him off. I am done. That happens. Toast. Like they'll be in your face like, oh, you think you're smart, huh? It's like because at that
Well,
point,
and
yeah,
I really want, I really, even to this day, even though, I commissioned many, many moons ago,
yeah,
I always go back to, wait a second, I remember how I felt when I was an E3 and
yeah,
here comes a captain or whomever. And I always think it really was my foundation. And I'm so thankful for having that because I would have been a different kind of person if I
yeah.
would just straight commission. So
You gotta
yes,
salute
I
me.
totally support the Mustangs.
I remember because I've heard stories where when I was in, you'd have like these, fresh out of OCS like lieutenants. You're like, Staff Sergeant, you're gonna salute me. Staff Sergeant would be like, "Fuck you, I don't care." Because at that point, you had they're already protected. Like, go ahead and report me, see what happens, and then they like, yeah, you can't come in from them. Anyone else, fine, but let them be.
Yes. Yes. I get it. I get it. Trust me. I
Yeah,
get it.
it's that
I
military
get
thing.
it.
You're like, oh, you think you hot shit? You're a lieutenant. I've been in this longer than you. Shut up, but whatever. It's what
Hmm.
it is. It's part of the game. Um,
That's right.
okay. So you did this, and then how did you get into where you what you're doing now and all that stuff?
So, going TDY or TAD, like it's in the Marine Corps, you're always traveling and whatnot. And so you keep accruing points here, there, and everywhere. And so at one point, I actually got out of active duty and worked for FEMA. And when I worked for FEMA, I stayed in hotels, like I lived in hotels. So the amount of points get accruing like drastically much more. I did that for 3 years.
Wow.
And I got a taste of it because I had so many points that I stayed at hotels for free. Cosmopolitan for my best friend's birthday, 4 nights for free. from the points. I traveled all over the United States for free because of the points. So I knew that it was sort of like a game that you could play, but I earned those points by staying in the hotels and flying so much with FEMA. Now, fast forward to around, I want to say it was around COVID. One of my girlfriends told me, hey, did you know that you can get the American Express Platinum for free because you're in the military? And I said, and you can't, and I was really skeptical because I was like, I'm not paying $700 for a fee for a credit card. I'm not doing that. And I don't want
Yeah.
any more credit cards because credit cards can be evil. I didn't want that. And so I finally believed her and I got into it and I got the card and it was free. And I was like, this is too good to be true.
Right.
And then I heard through the grapevine, oh, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, another luxury card you can get for free. And so then I went sort of like down the rabbit hole sometime about almost 2 years ago and to realize or to discover why are these credit cards for free. And something happened, I want to say it was late the 2010s, 2012 or so, that I'm sorry, I have it written down here, the SCRA, the Service Members Civil Relief Act, something changed and now we don't pay for some credit card, or the military doesn't pay for some credit card fees. So when you put all that together, you can get all these credit cards. Your dependents could get all these credit cards. You refer each other back and forth, and you can have tons of points for your organic purchases to travel for free. It's pretty incredible.
Wow.
And it is not all the credit cards, but it
Mm,
is several credit cards in the American Express family, in the
mm.
Chase family, in the Citi family, some other families that actually have these benefits for the military. There's some banks that do not give you the SCRA benefits. And so if you are very disciplined and you're very strategic, you could make money or you can make tons of points or you can make both by just holding these credit cards. And so I went down that rabbit hole. And since then, I've accrued, I want to say about 2 million points in a little bit over a year. Yes. Yes. So it is possible to just accrue tons and tons of points without spending millions of dollars on your
Right.
credit cards.
Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you that. Like, how does one go about doing that? Because I had someone else on here like early this year, but that was more for, in this case, the civilians. This is before military. How does one go about doing that without, racking up a whole bunch of credit card debt and just being, oh, I got those points? Because my view on the whole cashback points thing, for me, and try to learn how to do this was like, okay, so I'm gonna spend all this money to get back like spend this and get back this. Like that doesn't make sense for me. It's stupid, you
So
know?
then again, it's all really strategic. First of
Yeah.
all, I do not it's not my intent to encourage people to get credit cards. That is not my intent
Yeah.
by any means. You have to be very, very, very disciplined. Second, you have to have your credit established, right? To get all these like bougie type of like luxury credit cards. And then you have to be really strategic. And I do have, some options when it comes to credit cards. For example, the American Express Gold. It's a
Mhm.
card that you use. You get 4 points per dollar you spend at the grocery store.
Smart.
So, are you gonna buy groceries?
Yes.
Probably. So it's an organic expense. Restaurants and groceries up to $25,000 per year, and I'm sure if you have like 20 kids, you'll spend that much.
You'll easily hit that
Yeah.
within a month. Boom.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can make 4 points per dollar spent at the grocery store.
Okay.
So that's where the strategic piece comes. You're not really just spending money arbitrarily. And my intent is to encourage people to pay off their cards. If you don't pay off your card monthly, then there's no point of getting the credit card. Then don't get anything. If you don't have the ability to pay off your bill, then don't get it. However, everybody buys groceries. Everybody buys gasoline, for example. Everybody
Yeah.
has to pay their water bill and their, phone bill. All those bills that are organic, you can use your credit cards to get points and pay them off. And then those credit cards basically are working for you
Right.
that
Okay.
way. But you got to be strategic about it. And, again, all these credit cards, if you if you're in the military or you're active duty, if you're active duty, if you're a reservist or a guardsman on orders for over 30 days, you qualify for these benefits where the credit card company will not charge you the fee, the annual fee for the credit card. Basically, you could make money because of all the credits that the credit cards also bring. And then if you use them accordingly, like for example, like I mentioned, the American Express Gold, you can use it at the commissary, right? To buy your groceries from the commissary, and you spend in a year $10,000 in groceries, which could be, I don't know, that seems a little bit excessive, but
Right.
$10,000 a year in groceries, you make 40,000 points. That means you could buy, maybe 4 plane tickets for free with those 40,000 points in a year. You
Worth
were
it.
going to buy the groceries anyway. It's a
Right.
matter of making your organic expenses work for you.
I like that. And I like how you say use the word organic expenses versus, I don't know, some other term because like more it's organic because you are going to use it for eating maybe like one or two bills, just keep it safe, whatever, whatnot, and just use that because then, like you said, you're using the points, building them up, and then saying, all right, we have these points now. How do we use this strategically? Save money on like traveling, or who knows, maybe you can use it on. Can you use them on stuff other than traveling, or is it just traveling strictly?
So typically for travel, there's other ways that you can use the points, like for example, gift cards, but I don't recommend that. You get the best bang for your buck when you actually transfer it to the transfer partners. I transferred, let me see, we're gonna go to Japan in the summertime. I transferred 90,000 points, and that's a one-way business class ticket for
Yeah,
my family. So it's the best way to transfer the points to transfer partners.
nice.
uh, you could use them for, again, gift cards, but or you can use them for, like I mentioned, the Cosmopolitan that I spent points for many years ago, but you don't get the best bang for your buck.
Right.
There's ways to maximize your points. You can even use it to pay your bill, but you don't get as much bang for your buck when you do that.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
So really, it's more beneficial to use it for traveling than other things. I mean, you can use it for things, but you really want to go take it farther. Yeah, because then like that makes sense. Because then if you are traveling, then because traveling can add up, especially if you got a family. So
Mhm.
and have you had experiences where you've had enough points where um you've been able to travel for like basically free or like close enough where it's like we spent like $20.
So we just got back from this was a staycation, right? We went to Napa Valley this weekend and the hotel was really free. And so we spent my entire bill. They upgraded us to a junior suite,
Oh wow.
which was great, and free breakfast. And the breakfast was fantastic. So they gave me a $15, which is like nothing in Napa Valley, credit for the bar. And we had two drinks at the bar. So the drinks were $52. And so
Here's a credit, $15. You're like,
I know, it's
I don't
like a
even know what
joke.
I'm doing.
Like you can get
Wow.
water.
Yeah.
And so my entire bill from that stay was $45. A valet parking was free too. And so yeah, so we just did that
Wow.
now. We are going, so let me see. I did a trip by myself last year to Monterrey, Mexico, and it really cost me nothing. It cost me maybe $10 in the fees from the American Airlines.
Yeah, that's like done. Other than that, you're good. You're golden. You don't have to worry about paying anything else.
Yes, it was pretty incredible. And we are going on our honeymoon next month, and we're going to Thailand flying business class, and the plane tickets were $187 each from California to Thailand, and the hotel free. So really like an incredible vacation for about, I don't know, maybe $300. And the food, right? Like the food is going to
Yeah,
cost us some money. We got to eat at some point.
right.
Uh,
But you're getting like the majority expense paid down so much where you're like you have a surplus. Like, okay, cool. So we're good. Versus
yes,
like we only have
especially
this much.
Thailand because Thailand is cheap.
Yeah, I heard it's cheaper there. Your dollar goes a lot farther. Like some people move there and they live like a king, you know.
Yes. So my plan is to have like the majority of our trips subsidized, so to speak, by points. Now, I have to say that, there's like two phases of this whole travel thing. You have to have your point generation season, so to speak. So my point generation started around January last year. I generated tons of points, and then the point redemption phase, so to speak, happened I want to say around summertime. That's when
Yeah.
I booked the tickets for Thailand. You had to book them out enough so that you can get the best redemption. Tickets for we're going to Mexico City, and it cost me maybe $100 per person. And we're going to Japan, and that's it. No more big trips because it's a lot of points
Yeah.
in the summer next year. So yes, and so now I'm back into like point generating. And so I recently got married and I referred my husband, and his first credit card was the one that I just mentioned, the American Express Gold.
Wow.
And I got 10,000 points for referring him. And that's the whole game. I got 10,000 points and he's going to get 100,000 points. So when you refer a
Wow.
person to the credit card, you are
Yeah.
also making some points. And then I hopefully will refer him to the American Express Platinum, which
Right.
again, because he's my dependent of an active duty member, he gets the fees waived as well. And also,
Wow.
yes, and if you have any other dependents that are of age, they can also be referred, and then it's an annual fees free on the credit cards. So if you have dependent adults, maybe your parents are your dependents, etc., you can refer them as well. But the most important key is to pay off that bill, because the moment that you have any balance on your statement, it negates all the benefits of the
Right.
points that you're earning.
Wow. I had no idea that this was a thing. Like I've known about credit card points on to do it, but for the military in particular, like no one talks about it. I didn't know. Like,
Mhm.
do you, my next question was how is maybe not be the best. Why do you think most people in the military don't know about this, or why do you think isn't well known like it should be?
It's not really advertised. And also, I mean, when I was at A1C, what did I buy? When I was an E3, I wanted a car, right? Like I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
not that
yeah.
interested in like getting a credit card. So I get it that your basic stuff comes first. And the more junior that you're in rank, you really shouldn't be getting into credit card debt.
Yeah.
Should you get a credit card, you need to establish credit. Yes. And what's the best credit card to get if you're in the military? The card that will always be approved. You will always be approved for that AFES card, or what is it called for the Marine Corps MCAS?
I wouldn't
The
know. I didn't dabble in that world back then, but yeah, there's the military star, which
Yes,
a lot of people
military
have.
star card.
Yeah.
That that is my oldest card, and that oldest card is your anchor card. It establishes your credit. You should not mess with that card. You should keep it forever because it establishes your credit, the length of your credit, right? So any military member should, if they don't have credit, that's the first card to get. You will always get approved because they know where to find you and they will know where to
Exactly.
get
And
their
you
money. And again, you use it and you pay it off. And you can use it to get established. That's what I did. I bought it, I got it, and then I bought, I didn't have closed toe shoes. So I went and got some closed toe shoes, and I got a puffy jacket, and I got a TV because I had nothing at the time.
and some
Um,
boots
yes,
and
hey.
gloves and be like, it's cold. I'm not doing this again.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think debt can be, and as you know, that debt can get out of control while you're in the military because we really don't make a lot of money as an E1, E2, E3. And so I think that's why it's not heavily advertised. But if you know you have the discipline to pay off your bills on time, to not live outside your means, you can certainly benefit from this. But again, I know that the military lifestyle sometimes doesn't allow for people to get credit cards. It's just not a good idea, but it is there. It is there. It's an option.
Yeah. See, this is why people have to view like credit. People find credit scam is just designed to keep you in debt. No, it's not. As a victim belief that'll always screw you. Because at the end of the day, the funny thing is, people don't realize that the credit system just does not work without the borrower. So we're the ones with the power, just that
Right.
not taught for us to use it responsibly. So this
Correct.
is why you want to get into credit and learn it because if you, like you said, use it responsibly and build it, maintain it, the rewards you get for that are insane. Like they're up there. You can get
Yes,
high limit
correct.
credit cards. And if you're military watch, you know about this. Is there anything for anyone that's like if for those who are retired military veterans, or is it only for those who are active?
So I have heard through the grapevine that some people that had the credit cards and then they retired, that the annual fees were not charged immediately. Like, they had like a grace period of several years. But typically there's not for retired military, unfortunately. It's only for active duty, and it's because of that SCRA,
Mm,
the service. Yeah, that
yeah,
that that law is the one that protects, and it's the same law that protects you from those 27% interest rate loan
yeah,
outside the gate of the base, or even if you get orders to PCS or even to deploy or whatever the case may be, it's the
right.
same law that allows you to break your lease and not have to have a debt. So
Yeah,
the protections are really for military and their dependents
that makes sense.
only.
Because yeah, if you get deployed, you can't really, well, depending on where you're going, you may have internet, actually may not, so you can't pay anything. So it's like, yeah, I need
Right.
to put this on pause. That just happened. Like I've had one lady where she had some bill in there and she was like, no, they shouldn't have done that. And unfortunately got sent to collections. She told them like she couldn't pay because I think she got to she was going someplace where she couldn't pay and she called them up and someone screwed up. I'm like, you can't have that. That's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. So I remember when I went to boot camp, I never got deployed. I remember having to call like a time. I think at T-Mobile. It's like, hey, can you put my bill on pause? Because I can't pay it for 3 months. I have no access to anything.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So that's a real thing. That's interesting. I was just curious because it made her stuff for like veterans, which I feel like there should be one.
Yes, and there is some here, there, and everywhere, but not as many benefits as actually being military. And the sacrifice is real. The same
Yeah.
for the family. So I really appreciate that they do it. And when the time comes for me not to be in the military anymore, I'm gonna be jealous of the benefits, but happy that all
Build
the
it what it's
requirements
worth.
are
Go
not
go
there.
hard. Just rack. I would this when retirement, just rack them up. Keep just as much as you can and go. All
Yeah.
right, I have to use these points, or it's gonna be use it or lose it. That's what I would do. Go here, go everywhere.
Yes.
Go on like your own like for your own tour of duty of retirement.
Yes, exactly.
Go here, go
Exactly.
there. So that's interesting. Wow.
Yeah, so my rules of engagement for this game are always pay off the balances, no exceptions. There's just no exceptions, and I'm sure you agree with that. It's
Yeah.
just, you should not carry a balance. There's a lot of tools that are free that you can use, like the Travel Freely app, to track the spending requirements per card. Because when you open a card, they
Mm.
do have a spending requirement. For example, the American Express that my husband got has an $8,000 spending requirement, but you have 6 months. So what we to actually spend it so that you can get 100,000 points. So what we're
Oh
doing, we're using
wow.
the card for everything. We're using it for everything.
Okay.
And so, sorry, my kids like almost like came over.
They're like, Mom, it's Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve. Get off the
Yes, I'm
computer. It's
like,
like
let me
it
close
doesn't
my
matter right
eyes.
now.
Yes. So we use it again, pay the bills, like all the bills, like power. I mean, you live in California, everything here is freaking expensive. So I'm
Say the
sure we're gonna meet
military.
this.
Say
Oh
the military at
yes.
that point. I wonder it's like beat that inflation or at least match it or something. Like, whole
Yes.
different
Yes.
discussion.
So yeah, so we use that card basically for everything. Let me see where are my rules of engagement. Oh, here it is. And then of course stay within your means and budget wisely. We do that in our household. We don't live outside our means. And yeah, we had a little staycation, but it was free. So I spent $45 and the gasoline to drive from Sacramento to Napa Valley.
Yeah.
And build credit history if new to the military, like I mentioned earlier. Credit is really important. That way you can buy a car or all the things, unless you want to pay cash.
Right.
But that's not everybody. And then leverage the annual fees to maximize all the benefits. All these cards, like the American Express Platinum, for example, has access to the lounges. And if you go TAD or TDY a lot, listen, you can go and it's like the USO, but with alcohol, and it's free. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Take advantage
Yes.
of it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Imagine that, right? USO,
Wow.
but with alcohol.
Yeah. Wow. I forgot about that because when there are special lounges in airports and things, but you'd be like
Yes.
members and all that stuff. I remember the USO and I don't know why didn't I join? My focus
It's
was
free.
elsewhere.
So the
Yeah, I don't know
USO,
why.
yeah, the USO is free, and you can go sit there. And so, not all the airports have lounges, but the USO, I know there's one in Dallas. I think there's one in Denver. There's one in DC. I travel a lot for work. So if you travel a lot for work or even just for fun, you can get into the lounge for free, and it's only you. They only allow the service member to go in. But
That makes
hey,
sense.
it's a good thing. It's not bad.
Yeah. Wow.
And there's again there's several credit cards that I usually like tell people about. The American Express typically for the military. Unfortunately, there's a sequence for the American Express. You have to get the gold before you get the platinum. If you get the platinum and then try to get the gold, you won't be able to get it. They
Okay.
put in a rule this year and all that changed. And the other card that I really like a lot is the Chase Sapphire Reserve. That card comes with a pretty stiff annual fee of almost $600. But if you're military, it's free. And it immediately, that card, at the moment you get a $300 travel credit. So you're
Wow.
making money just
Right.
by owning the card. So I just feel like, this is something that the military should know because you can get plane ticket out of that, or you can rent a car, or you can, I don't know, maybe go home for Christmas just with that $300 credit that you get every year. So you can't really make money when you have these credit cards if you're in the military, and your dependent can get it too, so you could have $600 in a household.
Right.
So it's just it's a matter of educating, um, and then sharing the information with your peers as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I wish I'd known this when I was in.
I know. And listen, I just learned about that Chase Sapphire Reserve. I want to say it was 4 years ago because my friend told me about the platinum, and then I started delving into other cards. And, there's a bunch of American Airlines cards that are also fee free. There's other benefits. For example, the city cards, they have the Costco card, and I love Costco. Well, a few years ago, I told them, hey, listen, do you have any SCRA benefits? Just curious about it. And they gave me 0% interest rate for like the rest of my life. So sometimes you just have to,
Wow.
yes. In
For the
fact,
rest of your life, no interest.
yes,
Oh,
there's
that's
no, I
unheard of.
haven't paid interest on that card. So that one, I have a balance on it because I don't have any interest on it. It's amazing.
Wow. That's
Yes.
crazy. I didn't,
Yes.
well, I never
Mhm.
asked.
As the Costco card, the Costco it's a city card. And so let me tell you, better yet, my husband, because we just recently got married, he sent an email to what was it? I think a credit card that he had, and he said, "Hey, can you apply the SCRA benefits to my card?" They paid off his card. I guess he had paid so much in interest on it, and they sent him a check for the interest they had been charging him since he opened the card before we got married, before we met. He opened the card like 10 years ago.
Oh, that must have been a nice size check that came
I
in.
was like, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah. It's our
Wow.
Thailand fund, our food money.
Like we got food for years. Let's go.
Yes. No, it's phenomenal. I was not expecting it, and neither was he. So, yeah. So, even if you marry someone that hasn't been with you, or that you don't have to have that history,
Retroactive
the
pay.
benefits can be extraordinary for a family.
Well, I screwed up. I didn't learn shit back in my day until now. Like, oh God. No.
It's okay.
Oh,
It's
no,
okay.
it's
But now
fine.
you know,
And
and
now
you
I
can tell
know.
others
Now I
and
know I
help
know.
out
Like you're in the
others, right?
military. Get that. That's crazy. But also going back, I like how you said it has to be because you can use if you've built up good credit to get it. You can't just be like starting
No.
off or screwed it up. But
No, these cards are like what do you call it? They're luxury cards, right? So you
everybody
have to
wants.
have good established credit
Yeah.
history. Again, I joined the military in 99. I opened my military star card in 99. I got the American Express Platinum in 2019.
Okay.
So many, many, many years later, I
Yeah.
opened the Chase Sapphire Reserve in 2020. And here's the kicker on the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Every 4 years, you can product change that card to one that doesn't have an annual fee, even though you don't pay annual fee. And then someone can refer you again, and you can get the bonus one more time, which is typically 60,000 points.
Wow.
And get all that money too. I'm about to, so January comes around, my $300 are going to kick in for the travel credit.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty awesome. So you can really, if you're good with discipline, you can make money. The American Express Platinum, for example, comes with a $200 travel credit. I usually use it for Southwest. and I get
Mm.
$200 worth of Southwest tickets for free for me for the year. It also comes with a Walmart credit, Walmart Plus. So I get my groceries delivered for free to the house. Walmart Plus also comes with Paramount Plus for free. So I'm making money off of that just by having the card. And you don't have to use it. You can just keep it
Wow.
and not use it if you don't feel confident that you can pay it off. It also comes with an Uber credit of $15 a month. And the American Express Gold also comes with that. So you get $25 a month, and we just usually go to Chipotle and get a free dinner thanks to American
Yeah,
Express
because
monthly.
otherwise, especially where you're at, you're probably paying like $100 for Chipotle for two people. It's like this. I know it's great, but it ain't luxury up there. You know what I mean? Because wow,
Oh, yes. I
that's
try to squeeze
insane.
every single benefit that I can out of these
Yeah,
credit cards. The same with my husband. In fact, when we went to Napa, we used both of our gold cards, and you get a $50 Resi credit, which is restaurant credit. We
yeah,
put 50 on my card. So, it wiped out $50. We put 50 on his card, wiped out $50. And we had a really nice Michelin star dinner for $100 total after, the credit. So it's great for all the credits that you get. And there's other strategies, like for example, the Southwest cards are from Chase. You can
yeah.
get the Southwest cards for fee free as well. And you can make money almost to an extent. And if you have a family, you can actually open a business card if possible. That's only if you have a small business on the side. You get
Right.
a companion pass and travel for free, which is, well, your companion travels with you for free. So I have the companion pass, and my companion is my son, and he comes along for $5.60 every time I travel. Even if I go to UI, I bring him with me. So there is a lot of other strategies that you can do to save you a lot of money and leverage your military status. Because you gotta get every bit that you can out of the fact that you're serving the country. And if the
Yeah.
bank wants to give it to you, I'm happy to receive.
Wow. There's power in financial literacy.
Yes.
The
It's a
thing,
matter of knowing where to find the information,
gee,
asking the right questions, and making wise choices, right?
right. That's true. Is making the wise choices, being strategic about it, and being disciplined, and knowing that like when you do this, it's all about practicing delayed gratification, basically.
Yes.
Credit is the game of delayed gratification. Yeah, you get some now, but if you take this seriously and work with this, we will reward you with way more stuff. But we got to see that you can manage this amount, whatever it looks like here. I'll give more. But too many of us have it's either it's money, I'm gonna spend it, or this is evil, so I shouldn't really use it and just abuse it. And that screws up so many people, you know.
Yeah, you gotta have the discipline, right? You gotta be really, really disciplined, and that's the first step. If you don't think that you can be disciplined, then just stay back and don't do it. But if you know that you can, hold yourself to a budget and discipline, then yes, this is certainly for you because there are tons and tons of benefits. And even if you only enlist for 4 years or serve for 20 years or 30 years, you can enjoy reap all the benefits of all these cards for as many years as you like.
This is where I want to have the more you know star go across the screen. Those you're old enough, you understand back then. The more you know. Now I'm like, wow,
Yes,
I had
yes. The more
no
you know. So,
idea.
and then let me tell you a couple more benefits that I have written down here. So TSA PreCheck is free with your DoD ID number, right? And so everybody should put that in their profiles for flying because if you get it, then it includes your family if you buy tickets for your family. Like my kid's been having TSA PreCheck for many years. You can also, even if you're not in the military anymore, you can get discounts on Clear. I don't know how I feel about Clear. If you travel a lot, Clear, it's okay. Some airports are really busy, like Denver, Atlanta, or DC. Clear actually, like you skip a line to an extent. And you can also get early boarding for being in the military. The free bags, as you know, it's also a benefit.
Yeah.
You also get access to military lodging. A lot of people do not know that these military lodging facilities are not just like your base lodging. These are like resorts. For
Wow.
example, the Shades of Green in Orlando, it's actually in the Disney World area. I never stayed there, but I heard that it's really nice. Halikoa in Honolulu, that is beachfront property. I never stayed there either, but I've gone there to the BX and I've been to the bar to buy some Mai Tais and sit in the
Right.
lawn because it's just in front of the beach. You can stay there at a reduced price too, which is it matches your rank. So regardless of your rank, you are able to enjoy a vacation any of these places. Edelweiss Lodge in Germany, I stayed there. It's in a ski resort, beautiful. There's also the Dragon Hill in Korea, Dragon Hill Lodge in Korea, which is on base. I stayed there. I really liked it. And then the new Sano Hotel in Tokyo. So there's all these benefits that just people do not know
Wow.
that are there for you and your families.
I learned something today. Not just the benefits of like upgrading your credit and actually playing the game and using it, but like the benefits that there are for military active duty and how you get rewarded. Again, almost assuming that uses responsibly and
Right.
again strategically.
Yes.
All right. I'll never look at credit card sim ever again. It's a real game to play if you understand it. So, and you definitely have like I would say mastered at this point. Like so. But Laura, I thank you for being on. Is there anything else you want to share with people?
I just want to say to all the military that listened, thank you for your service. Everything that you do every day is highly appreciated. Thank you for your service to your country. From the bottom of my heart, I know that the hardworking, all those hours, all those deployments, they don't go unnoticed. And everybody have a happy holiday. Matt, thank you so much for giving an
Oh,
opportunity to have a voice
you're
and
welcome.
share what I know and what I'm excited about with others. You can, find me on Instagram when I travel with Laura. I don't really make any money out of this. I just like it and I like sharing what I know with others so that you can also like benefit from it and travel for free like I do.
Yeah, why not? Cool. Last another question. Like how people reach it. Yeah, you got her Instagram, but Laura, thanks for being on. I appreciate this, and I do this to help other veterans get them on and get their message out because it's something that needs to be done versus just there's Veterans Day and all that other stuff, but like to keep it going and help them out with everything else. So I thank
Yeah.
you for being on. You have a good Christmas,
Thank
New
you. You too.
Year's, everything in between, everybody, all that fun stuff.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, all right, bye everybody.